So after last week's meeting starting and stopping a bunch of times because my C drive ran out of space, I tried putting in replacing the half gig drive with a 1 gig, but then the computer, for some reason, didn't like it. I mean, I did a clone of the drive, and so the 1 terabyte drive still had a big space, and I merged the two into one big space, but computer didn't like that. I guess you got to figure out why Dell computer doesn't like that. But now I got an updated program on my main computer here for the Logitech webcam. So now I get a good stable picture. Looks like Joe's coming in.
Just trying to get things set up. I'm not sure which mic I'm working from yet.
That one was working.
There's one of them that picks up a whole bunch of background noise because I know I've been in the S100 meeting and people have said, "Joe, shut up," kind of thing. So I got to figure this out. It'll take me a minute.
Yeah, Todd's mic. I don't know what it was picking up on a couple of the meetings. His microphone picks up something too.
Okay, yeah, I think you try to use the headset. It's easier. It's got noise cancellation and stuff. So this time's tough for me. I was in the middle of a bunch of stuff, so I got things being soaked with the was it adhesive remover right now. So I have to go back to that right after the meeting.
You
It's
don't
the
just
old.
use
Go ahead.
you don't just use dish soap and hot water.
I've been using was it Gugon or something? It's like a citrus based type thing. It's some my brother already bought it, so it wasn't like I had to pay for it.
Gugon is not citrus. Gugon is
I th-
basically gasoline. Have you
is
ever
it?
smelled it?
Smell. I thought it smells like citrus. Whatever I'm smelling, it smells like
It's
oranges.
probably goof off.
Yeah.
Goof off. It's a goo off maybe. Goo off.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, Gugon smells like you just, sniffing your gas tank.
Well, I was not. I was smelling citrus. Thinking,
Yeah.
hey, time for an orange. But
No, that's okay. That's better. Because that's the part I hate about that stuff is the stink afterwards.
oh yeah, yeah. No, this isn't bad, but I mean it's taken a while. This tape has been these are on the teletype cover.
Mm.
There is tape and residue, and so I'm slowly getting through that. But the good news is since I'm doing the cover, it means that everything else seems to be working right now. So I'm trying to get a cover on it, seal it up, have it work once, and then I'm done.
There you go.
But once you get all that tape residue off, then it's going to be a lighter color on the
It
thing.
is on one side, but it was only in the sides, not too bad. And I'm not a perfectionist. I don't do that retro brighting or anything. If there's cracks, that's what I'm working on. And that kind of stuff. But the tape residue really bothered me. It was all over the place.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that retro whiting stuff because it seems to me that stuff would help break down the plastic, age it faster.
I've heard that it can make the plastic more brittle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of peroxide and stuff, right? They use a lot of
Right,
stuff like
Peroxide
right.
that.
and sunlight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what I
and
was.
those and both of those things break down plastics.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not looking at. I have a TRS-80. Again, I'm just kind of playing around with a bunch of different stuff right now. But a TRS-80 Model 4 that looks like it's been aged really well. That really yellowish color. And I'm going to leave it if it's functional.
Yeah.
Once I get that, I've already pulled the power supply out once. Thought I had it fixed, and now the voltages aren't high enough. After I replaced the reefa capacitor had to be pulled out. There, one of them was popped, so I replaced those two. I said, well, the rest of them look good.
Mhm.
I'm not getting enough voltage on the line, so I'm thinking the other capacitors just need to be done as well at this point. We'll find out.
As long as the stuff doesn't smell like cigarette smoke, I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, none of these do. They smell. A lot of them smell like they've been in storage for a long time. That old electronic smell, and then the TRS-80 has that burned reefa smell to it because somebody popped it a long time ago and said, "Okay, I'm not touching this," and left it there for a long. Nasty when cleaning that thing up. Just smells. Am I pronouncing that right? Reefa? I know I keep thinking reefer, and I know that's not it. But I think reefa is the term they use for those capacitors. Anybody? I,
Reform.
well, not this is not rebuilding
No,
capacitor. This is
it's a type, it's a brand.
Rifa. Yeah,
re, re,
RIAF. Rifa.
okay.
Yeah, it's a
Thank you, Terry.
brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a brand. They're a lot of times you can pull them and not even bother replacing these because a lot of times it's for filtering. And somebody even said it was filtering for back in the '80s. They didn't want noise back on the electrical lines.
That's right.
Uh, and oh, is it okay? That's good. Again, you read stuff and hear stuff. You can't. I'm pointing over here to my
Yeah.
other computer, but you can't always believe it. So if
Yeah.
you're saying I trust that, but
Yeah, they're there to keep the lines going back into the house clean of RF.
yeah,
Like,
And
but
now
yeah,
we
back
don't
then,
care.
now we don't care.
it's a low pass filter for AC.
Thank you. Yeah. So this one had three of them. Only one was blown. I replaced the three of them. The two of them were smaller sizes. I'm not, not sure, but again, the general rule I heard was you replace them when you see them. So that's what I've been doing, guys. What's everybody else been doing?
I've been wearing out my brain studying the circuit boards and figuring out configurations on circuit boards to update the notes on my web page for each of my computers. And of
Cool.
course, I've been bugging Patrick and Mike about some of the stuff too. Uh,
Uh,
I've been looking at that 3P plus S manual, and man, it's really difficult for me to figure out exactly because they spread the information out so much in these manuals instead of just having, okay, here's one bunch of jumpers and this is what they are and how they set up. It's like a
yeah,
big discussion about them. And
Right.
yeah.
my brain
I,
can't remember enough from the first paragraph by the time I get down to the picture.
I've always given it was CompuPro, I believe, is one where I have it's a manual, and it's then says, for a board, and then it says, by the way, if you have these other boards, all you do is flip these disk searches, and everything just
Right.
works.
The disc one manual has all that in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
Thank
I've
you.
been having that discussion with Peter, who been on here a couple times,
Yeah.
that you hooked me up with. Yeah.
Yeah. Peter's a good
Ongoing
guy.
with him about setting up ready for his first boot. He's got all the pieces in place apparently
Yeah.
now, so he's
Yeah.
ready to try booting up his CompuPro system.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, him and I
But yeah,
chat
I
pretty
was
well. Yeah.
explaining. Yeah, you go through the manual there, and in the front it says if you have this board, set up your disk one like this, set up your CPU like this, set up your memory board, set up your interface board, set all this up, and it'll just work. And I
Yeah.
said, start there, follow it exactly, the
Yeah,
boards that you
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
exact settings they say, and then start tweaking it. But don't try double guessing it at the start.
yeah. That's good if all the boards are from the same
And
manufacturer.
they
You
are.
start getting
Yeah.
different bits and pieces,
Yes.
then all that's blown
Right.
out. And
Yeah.
that's
But yeah,
why
he's
what they're trying to do is they're trying to teach you the theory behind the board and how it
Yeah.
operates rather than just
yeah.
can't, back in the S100 days, you couldn't just say, for this thing, do this, and for that thing, do that,
Right.
because there were 25 of that.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
the problem,
No,
the
that's
problem,
the right way to do it.
the problem with the 3P plus S board is they don't, they show you, you get down to, I forget, like page 8 or something like that, and you see a picture of about half the board, and it shows all these little jumper patches, and it's just little holes, and it says this is section A and section B and G
Yeah,
and K. But the thing is the identifications aren't even really up close to where the holes are. They're just in the general area. And so
yeah,
you're like, okay, J goes to what pins and G goes to these other, you can't tell. And so
Yeah.
you got to go back and read stuff, and then you look at the picture and read some
Yeah.
more and look at the picture. And I mean, I figured out the top edge connector for the RS-232. That was pretty easy to get. I got that in 5 minutes, but I am totally lost trying to understand the
You'll
rest of
get
the
it, bud.
board.
You'll get it. And to Terry's point, you're right. That's the right way to do it, is to
Yeah.
actually learn. So this way, when you come on another board that you don't have people who have knowledge in it, you can at least try to work your way through it.
Well, I'm not learning functionality of all those chips on the board. I'm trying to figure out what those connection names are, because that's the thing that I need. If I know exactly what each of those holes are assigned to, then I know how to set it up for the project I want to set it up for. Yeah, trying to learn how the whole board works. I don't, that's a lifetime. That's for engineers that do this, design
Yeah.
boards.
I kind of regret I didn't go that far. I didn't go into that type of thing. I just went into computer science, where I did school and other things. I think I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Oh, me too. Yeah, right now, a hot dog cart in the corner, selling hot dogs and cokes. I think that's my next move.
There you go.
Sad, New Hampshire's summers are a little shorter than other areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 weeks, right?
If you're lucky, yeah.
Or is it the second Tuesday in August?
Not as short as Minnesota's.
Oh yeah, there you are. You got me beat.
Now, that's
Uh,
the one thing I miss from Minnesota is when springtime hits. Even though it's 60 degrees out, you're so happy and the sky is blue and you go outside and enjoy life.
It's supposed to be 80 degrees here today.
Oh,
Really?
Imagine that.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
supposed to be 84 here.
ugh.
We're in the 50s,
Yeah, we're in
upper 50s. So
high 80s, low 90s. It's really nice outside now.
yeah, I'm hoping. I think it said 60s coming next week. So maybe
Good,
we'll
and
get some
it's
of that
50,
80.
54 and raining here in the Bay Area.
Oh,
We
okay.
had
Is that
thunderstorms last night. I mean, literally
Wow.
rolling thunder
That's
for
unusual.
minutes on end.
That's unusual for the Bay Area.
Yeah,
I think
last 2 days.
I think the
last-
16 years, 17 years that I lived in the Bay Area, I had maybe 2 thunderstorms the whole time, and 2
We've
foot
had-
of snow as well.
Yeah, we've had like 2-3 days now of thunderstorms with that rolling thunder that just keeps going and going and going, and you're going, oh, okay, what just blew up? And then it's weird. You get clear sky, and then 10 minutes later, torrential rain, and then 10 minutes later, it's clear sky again. It's not supposed to happen in April around here. It should be warming up by now. Oh well.
It will, I'm sure, and then you'll be.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah, but by warming up, I mean the hottest it gets here in the East Bay is low 80s,
okay.
and that's a
Yeah.
hot day.
Yeah.
It's
I-
I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. Having lived in Southern California for 20 years, and 100-degree weeks.
Uh,
Yeah, in San Francisco, typically it's about 50 degrees all year.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, the saying used to be, I spent one cold winter as a summer in San Francisco.
Right.
that was Mark Twain said that. The
Yeah.
coldest
Was it?
winter he ever had
That's
was
right.
the summer in San Francisco.
But
Yep.
but here in the East Bay, we don't get the fog. So yeah, so it doesn't get quite as chilly as it does up in like North Beach and up around, Upper
Yeah.
Richmond or whatever.
In Vallejo, we used to get fog all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember walking with my grandfather along the river there,
Mm-hmm.
where Mare Island is on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It was foggy a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, here in the East Bay, I mean, I'm in Emeryville, which is a little tiny town that barely exists.
Yeah, but
And
you got those hills between Emeryville and the bay, so
Yeah.
Well, no. We're on the bay side of the hills.
Oh,
We're right down. I mean, I'm quarter mile from the water.
oh, okay, yeah. I
But
don't remember the whole layout of the Bay
right,
Area.
it's Emeryville is right where the Bay Bridge drops off on the East Bay,
Oh, okay, yeah.
right where it lands. So it's between Oakland and Berkeley. It's this little tiny town between Oakland and Berkeley.
When I had my condo, I had a condo for a few years on top of Mount Davison in San Francisco.
Mhm.
It was like 400 feet west of dead center of the whole city.
Yeah,
And I could see everything except for the Bay Bridge, the whole bay. I could watch
yeah,
all the airplanes landing and taking off everywhere. And in the mornings, I'd wake up in the morning and look out the window and you see all the fog down below.
right.
I was up above the fog, so the whole city is all grayed out.
Yeah,
That was always kind of cool.
yeah. It is a fun if expensive place to live.
Yeah.
I did get 3 out of 4 of my Shugart 800 drives working this week.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
Go ahead. Tell us about it.
That's some progress. I know that
Yeah.
last week I was having one of them blowing the 24-volt fuse all the time, and after I went through it and disassembled it and checked all the windings and everything else, reassembled it, and it didn't blow fuses anymore. So I don't know what I did, but it started working.
Sweet.
Yeah. But I still got one of them, and out of the 4 of them, they have 3 different versions of the circuit board. I have 2 of them that have the same board. One of them has one of the ASIC boards on it, and the one I'm not getting to work yet is it's got a unique. It seems to be an undocumented board. I have schematics for 4 different boards, and this isn't any of them. And when I search that part number online, all I find is other people looking for schematics for it.
Been there a few times.
Yeah.
Board, is it the board with a lot of solder on it? A lot of
No, it's not one of the ASIC boards. It's actually looks very similar to the other 2 boards that I have with the discrete components. But when I look closer, it's actually doesn't have the drive select jumpers on it. At least they're not. Usually, there's 4 of them right at the
Right,
edge, and
right.
this has a 2 other jumpers labeled DS1 and DS2 way off in the middle of the drive here.
Okay.
And
Oh, so
I'm-
it only supports 2 instead of 4 drive select lines. Interesting.
Or it could
yeah,
be
it only has DS1 and DS2. So
Or it could be they could be binary and
yeah.
the
This is
0,
an
1, 2,
800
3. Yeah.
This is an 800-1, or no, it's a 1. Yeah, 800-1, which
Mm,
apparently has a soft sector but has a data separator in it.
interesting.
So I'm going to put the logic analyzer on and see if I can trace it. It appears that it's in constant chip select or device select. I mean, so it's like it's responding, anytime something happens there. But yet it's not stepping. I can't get the heads to step yet, so
Yeah.
I have to do some diagnosis on that.
Is it a constant head load?
No, I can get the head to load, but not step. But the stepper motor won't step. So, and I can get an RPM. I'm using Grease Weasel to kind of do the diagnosis, and I can get it. I can read the index. I can get an RPM off of it, and but when I go to try, and I can play with the drive selects, and I actually see some read data coming off on the data thing at some points.
Okay.
Unfortunately, even when it doesn't have a drive select. So I think there's something messy there. So
Hey, Mike.
I don't know.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I've got about 18 of those drives, latest count, between the 800s and the 8.
Oh, geez.
And I went through a few years ago and aligned most of them.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be the next step. Is once I get them functional, I want to get a pair of them set up for the 8800C here, and then. But I'll have to go through and try and get an alignment and do the best I can on that. So making some progress on it.
Those SA800s?
Yeah, I was just telling. I got 3 of the 4 of my SA800s working now. So so the one that we had that was shorting out last week after I put it back together didn't short out anymore or blow the fuse. So that one's working.
Nothing better than a magic fix.
Yeah, whatever. So I'm good with that.
So the
But
radial alignment on those tends to be really darn good.
yeah,
You'll probably have interchange. And if you're using soft sector controller, they'd probably be fine
yeah,
without any additional work. But if you're going
sure.
to use it with a hard sector controller, the timing is super tight, and
Yeah,
you may have to do index adjustment.
yeah. I'll have
But
to look at
index
that.
adjustment you can do pretty easily without an alignment disc.
How do you do that?
Do you have any way to bulk erase anything?
Yeah, I have like a big bulk eraser type, a cassette type eraser.
Okay. Uh, if you can bulk erase it, then
Yeah.
what you can do is see where data starts. Because what the Altair
Uh,
does is from the sector hole until data, it writes all ones, which will just be, I'm drawing a blank, 2 microsecond pulses over and over and over. So you just see a steady stream of 2 microseconds. If you have a digital scope, it's going to be hard to do on an old-fashioned scope.
yeah, yeah,
If you have a newer scope, or even your logic analyzers could do it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you keep moving over and over until you see that first, actually, no, it writes all zeros, which are 4 microseconds. So you see 4 microseconds,
Okay.
the very first 2 microsecond pulse is the start of data. And that's at like 392 microseconds, or should be. I forget. I'd have to look it up. But
Okay.
so you can just align it that way. You just move it until that pulse is at
Sure.
392 or whatever that magic number is, and that's perfect alignment.
Okay.
Now, if you have a disk that's been used before, you don't know for sure what's written prior to that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, you write a disk and you look at yours and say, oh, look, it's showing up at 240. So I need to move this until it shows up later.
Okay. Yeah, I may end up doing that because I'm going to set up 2 of them with your FTC Plus on the 8800. So I want to.
I mean, and even if you don't even want to get it exact, you can just make them all kind of match each other and then it'll work anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like we're exchanging 8-inch discs much anymore.
Right. Yeah, I think that'd be fine as long as I can get a pair of them that work with each other. I'd be good.
Right.
Cool. Yeah, it's right around 400 microseconds. I forget the exact number when that first 1 bit shows up. So that'd be
That's from the trailing edge of the index pulse or the leading edge of the index pulse.
The trailing edge of the index pulse is meaningless. So
okay,
yeah,
so leading
edge,
leading
which is
edge,
negative going, I believe, on that drive.
leading edge to first data are just under 400.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I can put that on the scope and check it out.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me take all of that back.
Okay.
On a PerTech drive. So I'll have to go reread my notes. So that's on a PerTech drive.
Okay.
You'll see it different on a Shugart. I'll have to go look at my notes, but I can help you do it. The bottom line is correct index timing, which puts it 400 microseconds after the index on a PerTech drive so that it's interchangeable with PerTech users and original disks.
Okay.
I think is about 300 microseconds shorter than that on a aligned Shugart. So if you aligned a Shugart with the Shugart approved alignment disk, then that pulse on the alignment disk is like 180 microseconds or 130 or something. But the FTC Plus accounts for that so that the media is 100% interchangeable with real Altair or the SA800. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I put it on a PerTech, it would work fine on yours and vice versa. But what I didn't want people doing is having to align their 800s to match a PerTech because that was against the 800 alignment. So what I did is said, okay, you align the 800 with the 800 disk, you align a PerTech with a PerTech disk, and the FTC Plus makes that invisible.
Okay, so you should actually shift the index that goes back to the computer.
So I need to revisit that before I tell you that number for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you never find a disk, I mean, have you given up trying to find an alignment disk, or?
I haven't given up yet. I mean, I haven't pursued yet.
Shoot me an email, and I'll get my notes back out.
Okay.
It's been a few years, and I don't remember things a few hours anymore.
Yeah, it might be a couple weeks before I'm
Yeah.
ready to start hooking them up. So we'll see.
All right.
But I will do that. Good.
Yeah, I think there's one on sale right now. It's on eBay, but it's like $500.
Yep.
Gee.
It's $4.99. I was looking at that
Yeah.
one.
Does that come with like 3 drives? You know?
Yeah,
A
it
while
has all
back,
the paperwork.
Yeah.
I wrote a SA800 exerciser, originally for the Arduino, but then I think I moved over to one of the other boards that went faster, and it did all the alignment stuff, and it wrote, if I remember correctly, I was trying to find it. It wrote the format, the all zeros or all ones, whatever it was, as one of the options. I'll see if I can find that. Oh,
Yeah, Apexer will do that. Altair
yeah,
Exerciser program will do that.
yeah.
All zeros are all one, or every other track, every other sector, so that you can do your what's it called? Trim erase timing.
Yeah, this may be, I may have to revisit that. That may be worth updating to like a Raspberry Pi, Pi 2 or whatever. The
I've
20.
got an ESP32 on that my Logic Answer floppy interface that can do a lot of that stuff. I can define data patterns for tracks, and I can just have it write individual tracks or sectors and do all that kind of low level data manipulation that you can do with like an exerciser. It seems like it has a lot more potential, a little bit more software development.
Yeah. I gave up on it when I was trying to actually read back data, the actual data from sectors and tracks, because the Teensy and the Arduino didn't have enough RAM. But now that we're dealing with ESP32s and the Picos, there's plenty of RAM to buffer a whole track at once.
Yep.
Some alignment disk I got these too. I don't know if you guys can read that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what this even goes with. Are you familiar with any of these? There's what is that one? That one's the 89D or a F8D. I haven't.
Don't know.
F8F, and then an F91. It probably went with one of their exercisers.
Yeah. Yeah.
The real ones that they made back in the day.
This is the one I got. It's a verbatim.
So that's an actual alignment disk. So these weren't alignment disks. These are some sort of test disk, I think, that went with their alignment machine. But yeah, I never have found any information on them. They sold for 93 cents at some handyman store. You see that?
Wow.
Nice. Oh, what's that, Patrick?
This one even has
You're
instructions
muted, by the way,
inside the-
Pat. So.
Yeah.
When you're aligning the disc, besides the rotational alignment, is there an alignment that tells you how far in the head moves?
Yeah.
For track 0 and yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, there's radial alignment, which is the position of the head over the track. There's index alignment, which is how quickly after the whole data starts, basically. And then there is radial alignment, which is the axis of the stepper motor axle aligned perfectly with the radii on the disc.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I was hoping to do was up my test. I don't remember if I did this or not, but to where you could do micro steps, and that way you could align. You could figure out how far off you are from alignment.
Right. That way you can do your own alignment.
Yeah. And I actually got a big piece of metal, and I found a site. It was one of the California universities. They actually had built a mechanism on a big flat table, and they set it up to where you could do micro stepping this way, do micro stepping this way, and I forget if it was height or what. They used a big flat laser table
Would
kind
that
of,
be to write your own alignment disc, you mean?
yeah, to
Yeah.
write your own alignment discs.
Oh wow.
I started to do that and then gave up. I had the stepper motor hooked up. I 3D printed a stepper motor.
Well, do any of you have a per side drive? Do you have a per side, Terry?
Now these are all Shugarts.
Because the per sides just use head coil, so it's probably analog essentially, right? I wonder if you could coax one of those into doing it.
That would work, yeah.
At least radial alignment.
But the if I remember when I was doing the work, you could do so many, like 8 or 16 micro steps for one full step on the stepper motor. So you could do pretty good seeing how far you were off just by doing the micro steps.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the 96 TPI drives could be done something like that to a line of 48, on your 5 1/4. And some of those had half steps in the 96, which would be quarter steps at the 48 TPI.
Yeah.
I know the Shugart itself, one step, I mean, there's 3 or 4 coils, but each of those is whether you're going from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, or 3 to 4.
Right.
One of those coils gets energized. I forget, but it's not. Whereas like the Pertec, one of the other ones, one track required all 3 stepper motor phases to go or something. So I've seen different designs, but I think the Shugart is literally one track per step.
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember.
That's what it seems like. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. I was using. Obviously, I was using a different stepper motor. What I had was the. Well, it's hard to describe. What I had, if I remember correctly, and if this is the right, yes, it is the right box. What I did was I built the 3D printed this bracket, and I was using this stepper motor hooked up to the shaft for the SA800 stepper motor. And I did not use the SA800 stepper motor at all. Instead, I drove this stepper motor, and this butts right up against the stepper motor shaft on the SA800.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
you went all out.
Then I micro step this stepper to get it so I could do small steps, very small steps.
It
So
may
you
be
attach
possible.
that to you left the stepper motor in place and just turned the stepper motor?
Yeah, I left the stepper motor in place. I just, didn't power up that stepper motor, and I used this one instead.
Huh. Interesting.
You may be able to actually use the stepper motor on the 800 if you put your own motor controller on it that can do some current balancing. So rather than just turning all the coils on, either just on or off, you can kind of do sort of some micro stepping by turning some of the coils partially on and partially off to kind of do a slight movement. It may work with that stepper motor. I've done that before.
Yeah, I'm more into mechanical brute force.
Yeah, well, it's better if you've got a motor with more steps. It's much easier.
Yeah, and I forget, this is a stepper motor here, and then there's a gear reduction here.
Oh,
yeah, this I'd have to
go make us some alignment discs.
Well, that's where I was. That's where I was heading.
We don't care about all that hardware. Just give us some discs.
Well, I guess I could go back to this project. It's not like I don't have any other projects.
Well, I bet you could sell them for $199 if people are asking $500.
Oh yeah.
Well, except to video friends, they get the $1.99 discount.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, that was, and I was trying to do it to where I could get common parts so anybody else who wanted to could build it.
What is that, a NEMA 60?
No, it's it, what's after a 24? 30 something?
Well, there's 42. There's that. No, that motor's bigger than a NEMA 24.
Okay, I bought this as a set, and you can see the part number of the set. In other words, I bought the motor and the gear reduction as one unit.
Oh, and they don't have a label on the motor itself. Because that,
No.
well, how wide is the motor? Can you measure it?
If I can find something to measure with.
It looks like a NEMA 60. That's a pretty big beefy stepper motor.
Yeah.
I mean, a NEMA 17 would be more than enough to move a little head around.
Yeah. Yeah, with that gear reduction as well, it's probably putting out some significant torque.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure I got, well, first of all, it came as a package.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I didn't care what the motor was. But yeah, that would also help avoid any issues with the mechanical issues with driving the actual stepper motor.
You could probably twist the shaft right off inside the drive with that thing.
Walt, from here to here is about two and an eighth.
It's about 50 millimeters. Okay. 55. 2 1/8. 55.
28 millimeters?
No,
No.
inches.
I mean,
2 and an eighth inches.
oh, 2 1/8 inches.
Which is about
Hey, that's-
55, right?
I'm old enough. I don't mess with meters.
Oh. I'm old enough that when college, I had mechanics instructors who would give us mixed unit problems.
Oh yeah.
In England, in England, going to college at that time, they would give you like, you've got 2 pounds coming in at 1 meter per second, and just to keep you on your toes.
I've got a couple more gear reduction units and stepper motors as well, but this was the most successful. And I bought a metal plate, although it wasn't as thick as a laser table. I bought a metal plate and did get this to line perfectly with an SA800. So you just
I don't know if it works or not, but it sure is pretty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great idea.
That's a NEMA 54. How many
Okay.
wires is on it? Is it bipolar or unipolar?
Yeah, it's bipolar, 4 wires.
Oh, wow, okay.
And if I remember, you don't really need much of a driver for it.
No, you could use your Altair to drive it with a pole tick driver.
I think I'd have to look. It seems to me that I had to drive it not with 5 volts or 12 volts though. Well, maybe 12 volts. I don't remember.
Yeah, at least 12 volts. That motor that size. Or I should say at least 9 volts. I mean, I have little NEMA 17s that use 8 volts to drive them.
Here's another one that I bought. This is a different kind. It's got
Oh, wow.
the one shaft there, and this is just the gear reduction. The other shaft goes in here. I guess this is the stepper motor on this side. And then
It looks like a carburetor.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Looks like a worm drive. You must be able to get some torque out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Weed whacker head.
Anyway, that's my contribution for today. I don't want to take up the whole show with ancient project.
Just waiting for our discs. Keep going at it, Terry.
If
You get
anybody's
the discs. Go
if
ahead.
anybody's willing to take that on, I'd be glad to send it to them. But I've got so many projects coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I am right now. Too much
You have
to.
the exact specs for what it needs to step, and that I can build you a little circuit, and you just plug it into a bench supply, or maybe even just a little 9-volt radio battery to run it all.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to. I have at least I have one full 3-ring binder of all the calculations and all the information related to this. But
Oh,
where it is at this moment, it's probably buried under about 25 feet of other projects.
Yeah,
If
it would be easy to program a little pick chip, and you just have some buttons to step it like a eighth of a step or a hundredth of a step, full step like that. Just press buttons and
Well, the stepping is just one part of the problem. Well,
well,
you got
yeah,
to do
but
the
what I'm
stepping, and
saying
you got
is
to write the right waveforms.
right. But what I'm saying
They're
is,
analog waveforms that they wrote.
yeah, but
yeah,
for
I
a
had all that. I had all that working, all of it, and then
Yeah, well, it sounds like your project, Terry.
yeah,
yeah, no, I'm saying is if you want,
Everybody in favor of Terry continuing his work, say aye.
yeah. How much support do you need, Terry?
ooh,
no, that's
I
what
know
I'm
that's a
saying is.
thumbs up since
So what
you know
I'm
Mary,
saying is,
right?
if you want to build a rig that's just going to write alignment discs, you can do that with a pick chip and a little head sticking off the end of a motor, a couple motors, and
yeah. I've already got all that software written in for the Teensy 4.2, I think it was, and an Arduino, not a Mega, but some Arduino offshoot. My problem was getting all the holes drilled right and stuff like that. And writing, I can write all zeros or all ones, and I even microstep to where I could. What my plan was. Oh, I'll be right back. My wife needs something.
Okay, bud.
Sounds like he's 75% of the way there.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the same with all my projects.
I was going to say the same thing.
So I guess the question is, if you have the ability to microstep, but writing those 180-degree out of phase sine waves would be difficult. Could you present the alignment or radial alignment with different data that's easy to write, something digital, and
Yeah.
accomplish the same thing?
And of course, half the problem is the micro step is great if you know where to go. So calibrating it in the first place.
Well, no, you'd have to calibrate with a real
Right.
disk, and you're only
Yeah.
going to be as good as your original alignment disk. Yeah.
Exactly.
and he's got
He's got the disc. He's all
See, Terry's the only one who's got the alignment disc, so he's the only one that can do this.
yeah.
I'm
My
sure he's
problem-
not sending that in the mail.
I think I just remembered that the problem I had was the piece of metal, piece of steel or aluminum or whatever, would flex too much.
Ah,
I set it down and it would flex too much, and anything thicker cost me an arm and 2 legs. So plus the physical room to do it.
yeah.
So that's kind of where I ended up. I couldn't store it here in the shack anywhere. It'd have to be down in the garage.
Terry,
Yeah,
did you
and
get
depending
one of
on the
those
temperature of the
fans?
day, it might have changed the alignment
Oh,
of
yeah.
the disk you write.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was trying to figure out a way of absolutely doing that so anybody could do it without an alignment disc. And I never figured out a good way to set, track zero,
Right.
the track zero sensor in an absolute level without an alignment disc.
Yeah, a bit of a chicken and egg here. If we
Yeah.
lose our last I have 2 alignment discs, but yeah, I could pull one out any day and accidentally destroy it.
Right.
Yeah.
I have learned that you can have a disk drive write when all those biasing diodes in the right circuit, if any of them are broken, it can just destroy a disc even without write enable, without anything. It just
That's
destroys
right.
past
Yeah.
all of that. It's right before the head or the wire leaves the board and goes to the head.
Yeah.
And, I ruined an alignment disc, and so yeah, I never start there anymore.
Yeah.
Terry, did you get one of those fame boards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that got me reignited in pursuing my project, quite frankly, because there's some things that my exerciser can do that the fame board can't. So I was thinking of, trying to start this project back up, but it's been a number of years since I did it last, and my memory's not great, and I can't find the binder.
Yeah, but based on current memory, if you can't find your notes, then you're screwed. Trust me, I understand that now.
Bunch of binders behind you on the shelf there, bud. Take a look.
Yeah, it's none of those. Already looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have any of you been following this guy, John? Can't remember his last name. Who's doing the S100 logic analyzer?
Yeah.
John's
He dropped
basement,
it.
I think he's.
He dropped a new video
Basement.
yesterday showing his first test of the board.
That's another project I started but never finished.
Well, he's just got his first batch of boards. These are using, but he dropped a video of the first set of boards back with one of um, the little Raspberry Pis in there. What's it? Yeah, the Pico 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Doing a few just to verify that it works. But he's designed an S100 board that has 5 Raspberry Pi Picos on it. 4 of which do the direct capture, and then the 5th one with jumpers does. Yeah, right. So he's put 5 of those on an S100 card.
Yeah, I've got 4 of these already.
You got the link for that program?
I'm just looking for it right now. I'm just looking for it.
Yeah.
You guys were
YouTube,
just talking
check
about that 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
He must have been listening.
Yeah. But yeah, he dropped a video of the first test because he's got the first batch of boards. Ah, there we go. That's it.
These elastic cargo pants will make you look.
Where?
I think it's important to know where you put.
Okay, there's the link to his latest video with the testing, and it's really clean. The board design is really clean.
Well, it's just a whole bunch of Picos.
Well, also, but it's not just a whole bunch of Picos. It's like 30 level shifters
Yeah.
that are all surface mount. So
Tiny-
he's got,
Tiny
he's got,
surface mount.
huh?
Tiny surface mount.
Tiny, yeah, and I watched him doing the assembly yesterday with his big fat soldering iron, and I'm going, how do these people do this?
I thought that was humorous. Yeah.
But yeah, if he gets the board working fully, it's something else. I could definitely see buying one of those.
I saw it both on his announcements both on
Right.
Facebook and on one of the S100
Right.
groups. And
Yeah, so
I, I told him I want one on both of those.
yes, I'm sure he's gonna have no problem selling a bunch of those.
I'm going to abandon mine. The interesting thing will be where he puts the triggers, because you can his software only triggers on like the first.
Okay, so what he's done is he's got 5 Picos on the board.
Right.
4 of them are specifically for monitoring the S100 bus itself.
Right.
And the 5th one, you've got jumpers for its pins, so you can jumper across onto jumpers on any of the S100 signals, and then use it to trigger the other 4.
Right.
It's a really clever design. Or you can do simple triggers just using the base 4. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it with the whole thing.
I hope it works. I hope, there's a couple issues potentially. One is the lead lengths on the circuit board, to make sure that, you don't get something out of phase, something not timed right.
Right.
And the second is to make sure you can that trigger the fifth one, the triggering one, I think needs to be the first 24 inputs.
No, no. The way he's got it configured is they all hook to each other, right?
Right.
They're daisy chained,
Right.
and the trigger generates the trigger in complex trigger mode. His first video, which is the one he has before this one, explains how he designed it and how he laid it out. So yeah, this one is just putting the first Pico on the board and testing it just to make sure that he could get clean signals out. So hopefully in a week or so we'll see a video with the whole thing up and running.
Good. Good.
But yeah, the one that I just posted the link to, that one's from his drop yesterday, which is really, and his videos are really long before he gets to anything, but but worth it at the end. He talks forever. But
I've
yeah,
seen some
it's
of his other videos in the past.
yeah.
Again when I was scoping out a lot of stuff.
But yeah, I could definitely see the value of that little board.
Yeah. I was wishing he would put voltage readouts on the board as well.
This is actually a really smart upgrade for your.
I'm sorry.
I think somebody started something.
Was that you, Mike, that started saying something?
No, I was doing two things at once, and I'm not doing
okay.
that. I need to stay away from that temptation.
Yep.
I'm still looking for that stupid binder.
Patrick, you've been quiet today, bud. I think you're muted.
Yeah, doing two things at once.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to bother you.
No, but I might share some with you guys really quick.
Okay.
Patrick has gas and didn't want us to hear. He'll just make all of us laugh. So go ahead and leave your microphone on.
Yeah.
How do I do this? Does that work? You guys see that? I can't.
Yeah, I see it fine.
Yep.
So that's my initial layout for the Altair front panel mic. Basically merging Mike's Altair front panel with the interface board.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm just basically working with the switches and the LEDs. I don't know if I like where everything is.
Mm. And this is just a single S100 card as well. Okay.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like everything being on the top.
Yeah, I think
Not
that
buried in
helps.
the middle.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Anyways, yeah, that's where we're at.
Cool.
Trying to understand how Mike's interface board works with all those moving bits around serially and in what order and what switches up and what switches down. And I think I can
eliminate the transfer of data to and from the front panel. Well, mainly from. That should eliminate some work on the board.
Yeah, because I was looking at that because everything still goes serially to the PIC.
I was going to say that's true. You probably will have to leave all the serialization there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think
to get it otherwise.
Yeah, I've been looking at like what could I eliminate and what I can't be eliminated, and not a lot.
Yeah, now that you mention it, we can't go parallel in. So yeah, you probably have to keep that serial access of the switch data.
Yeah, and it was like what was I trying to figure out? It's like, okay, so the PIC like sets the data LEDs, and then it like reads them back serially to put it on the CPU jumper to go to the CPU, I think.
Well, the data LEDs are straight off the bus, or they come from a latch that the PIC can update.
Yeah, so something like that. It was like it seemed like something went to the front panel board and then went back to the interface board. I couldn't really, and then out of the CPU. I couldn't really remember, but I think I have it all figured out.
Cool.
Now. So yeah, that's kind of what. And then I was thinking, I didn't want to put these in the octal,
The
Yeah.
3 blocks of
switches,
3.
three switches. Yeah, because I hate octal. So I think I'm just gonna keep them all in a row, and just with silk screening, it's gonna show like these 3 are octal and whatever, and then these
Right.
ones are
Like
hex.
the lines on the front panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna do it that way.
On the top side of the LEDs, you could have little dots for the hex, and on the bottom, little dots for the octal.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something with the silk screening to show which switches are, because it drives me nuts dealing with hex on an octal
Yeah.
on an Altair.
Yeah. The main ones we need silk screen on are those 8 switches because I can never remember which one's which.
yeah, they'll all be silk screened.
I constantly have to look at the front panel and go, oh yes, that one.
But the silk screen, like for examine and examine next, on top is just a big E, on the bottom,
Right.
EN.
Right. But yeah, I have to look every time, examine and deposit. The number of times I've gone to examine and deposited something
Yeah.
because I'm not paying close enough attention.
Hey, does I never noticed, does the single step switch work in the up and the down position?
Yes.
I
You
think
can
so.
make it work either way. The real Altair are only up. On mine, in the no enhancements mode, only up. But in the 8800B, you could set it to auto step at 3 different rates down.
Mm-hmm.
I added that ability.
Yeah, I use that
Oh,
all the
okay.
time. Yeah,
But you
I
can
use
also
that.
make it where it, just like the original, where it only is up.
Yeah.
Okay, because I noticed you had down run into a bit. I hadn't seen what it did yet.
Yeah, I find that's invaluable when I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong is the auto step.
But yeah, the original Altair couldn't do that. They add that in the B.
Okay, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, and I always forget you added programmed output too. You don't know how many times I've been on my Altair thinking, man, I wish I had programmed output. And then I remember, oh crap, it does it. The 8800C does it.
Are these similar switches to what we did on the 8800C?
Yeah, I think it's the same, but it'll be like the same footprint.
Okay.
They're the little mini toggle
Yeah.
switch, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
What
good.
size hole are you making for the pins?
I don't know. Big.
Yeah, I mean, if you make them the right size for the normal switches,
Yeah, if they're 3.5 millimeters in diameter, then any mini switch will plug into there.
right. But then if you use the original mini switches, they're kind of sloppy and it's hard to get them aligned.
Well, no, it's easy to get them aligned. You just make a template with a piece of cardboard or something, and
Right.
you set it on top all over the switches before you solder them.
Mm-hmm.
See, Patrick, you're gonna have to supply a template with the board now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it.
You can draw a template just from the blank board. From the blank board, you can draw a template.
You know what you could do is you could put a ribbon cable from this to a panel that you could stick on the front of the computer.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, a big one.
Imagine
That's a
that.
good idea.
Lots of
The
lights
nice
and
thing
everything.
about the IMSAI is that this board faced the front,
Yeah.
and of course the Altair is facing sideways if you keep that convention. But
Yeah.
if you had just an open card cage, of course, you would just stick this at the end of
Right.
the card cage where it's easy to get to.
Yeah, my Altair is always sideways anyways, because you're always working on cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Shoot, we should turn this into 2 boards.
Hey, why not? Why not? Why not 3? Why not 1 for the switches and 1 for the lights?
Yeah, and I could probably fit a couple serial ports on here and a
Heck
parallel
yeah.
port.
Hell yeah.
And
Well, you could put the 2 SIO and the SIO all on
yeah,
here.
probably an 8080.
And an 8080, yeah.
Oh,
And just put
the way I
big
look at
random
it-
dip switches on there just because.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the way I look at it is because I've been making the little oak cabinets for my computers, is when I go to solder anything on that has to, the LEDs and the switches, I have the front panel already cut out for the oak. So I just put it all on there. Everything's aligned. I do the soldering. That gets me my levels all set for the LEDs, everything all in one shot.
Yeah. You don't have a single jumper or switch on there.
Not yet. Mike got a jumper for I can't remember what it's for, Mike. Something for the 8800B.
Oh, just a trace cut, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't added that yet.
8800B did not use P-Ready or X-Ready. It used its own line. And so if you want to support that, yeah, you just use that trace that was there.
Yeah, DIG1.
Yeah, that's what it's called in the schematic on
Yeah.
8800B.
Yeah, I haven't added that jumper
Actually,
yet.
no, I guess I just leave that signal there, and if it's not IEEE compliant, if that signal bothers your system, you can cut it.
Yeah, the other thing I'm going to do is I think the modifications you did for the Z80 board.
Well, make sure you like it and it works.
Well, yeah, as soon as
I want at least 2 people to find that it works.
then
Although
I'm going to see if I could add
your board.
Yeah, then I could see if I could add jumpers.
We need to see if it works with somebody else's board.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, maybe I should do that. No, I'll do that this week. Because I got my board back from you, and
Oh, no, but see, it's the same ZPU. I want somebody else's ZPU to work with the mod as well. That would be good.
Oh,
my ZPUs are untested, but I could ship them off to you if you want to play around with them. I think I did that once before with you, Patrick. But I think I have 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So now we'll have 2 different front panel boards that we applied the patch to, and then at least 2 ZPUs. Then I'd feel a little better that it's the right thing.
Would that fix maybe other CPU boards? Well, I guess the other CPU boards that don't get M1 from DO5.
A lot of them don't put M1 on it. It won't fix that problem.
Yeah, it won't fix that problem. I wonder if I have.
The other problem is that this is just the way that ZPU board happened to generate P-Sync. Another Z80 might generate P-Sync in a different way.
Right.
But I guess there's not many boards use P-Sync. Boy, it's way out of spec.
Those darn Z80s.
I have both a Cometco and a TDL ZPU board that work. And they're not modified for anything.
Yeah, it all depends on how faithful the Z80 reproduced the 8080 and Altair bus signals. And again, a lot of things didn't care about them. Some things did. Obviously, a front panel needs a few of them to look right. That's what I get for trying to get rid of nasty asynchronous logic. But
so Mike,
I would do what you're talking about, Patrick. In fact, I might do that on the next turn of the front panel is install jumpers where you can do it either way.
Yeah, do you see the familiar? Does this board look familiar? You, Mike?
Oh, you just start with mine?
Oh yeah, I basically took your interface board and your front panel board and just merged them together.
Yeah, sorry I didn't have KiCad schematics you could start with.
Yeah, and I'll send you. I think I found a couple errors on the schematic. I might send you just little ones.
Okay.
That'll.
Yeah, AutoCAD doesn't care.
But yeah, but then I'll send you my KiCad schematics when I'm done. So
I started off in McDraw for schematics and circuit board layout back in the early days of the Macs.
Wow.
And I would send my PDF files from McDraw to a magazine publisher who could put it out on a linotype film. So it was perfect film. I tried doing it with a laser writer and then having a circuit board shot company shoot it photographically like they used to with the big cameras. But it wasn't perfect. But yeah, when you set it to the people who had a linotype, it generated perfect film.
Right.
So yeah, my whole CAD system was McDraw. Well, McDraw 2.
Wow.
And when the Mac 2 came out that had color, it was like, oh, this is great. Now I have colors for my layers.
And Tim, I'm still working on the SIO board.
Oh, yeah, I was really hard holding back asking about that.
No, I just decided it's so expensive to ship stuff from China. I'm going to send both prototype boards off at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I can
Cool.
fix it. Then I can fix all the broken stuff in them and do it again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
you
lot
gotta.
closer.
Sadly, even though it's a prototype board, you can probably look like the thing I sent off there. It was only $10 more for me to go from 5 to 50 of them.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
those little
Oh
jumbo
yeah.
boards. They
Yeah,
it just
the
what do you
prototype.
do with 50? Yeah,
I mean, these S100
Yeah.
boards are what, like
Yeah, when I did these
$10,
yeah, it's
$6 or
a little
something?
while back, yeah, I paid like 5 times as much for shipping as I did for 10 boards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to pay $50 for shipping.
By the way, if
$10
anybody
a
wants
board.
one or two of these, I have a half dozen extras, so let me know.
What is that little board?
That's my DB25 board, adapter for Patrick's 2SIO board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it works
I'll
great.
take.
I've got them. I've got
I'll
them in
take one.
my 8800C now.
Yeah,
So
I'll
I
take
pulled the
one.
JP out because it just JP should stand for just problems.
Uh,
No, that adapter looks awesome.
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
that way you can make it
if
any
anybody
length you
wants one of
want.
these, just let me know, and I've got a half dozen. I've got the connector, so I can just solder it up and ship it out to you.
Oh, you even put connectors on for us?
Huh? Yeah,
You
hell
even
yeah.
put a connector on for us?
Hell yeah. It's like 2 minutes of soldering. It's only what, 35 connections? Sorry, no, yeah,
I'll
35
take one.
connections.
I'll take one. I use the 25 pin if I can.
Yeah.
So you got one.
And then it just uses a standard 10 pin to 10 pin ribbon cable, which
Yeah.
you can make any length you want.
Yeah, I can crimp those. No
Oh,
problem.
that's a much better way to do it.
Yeah, the ones you buy off the shelf are just never the right length. They're always too short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, can you send me the Gerbers for
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Because next time I just order boards, I'm gonna just order a bunch of those too.
Yeah.
I might start. I
If
might
you're not
even
trying
make.
if you're not trying to make a business out of those, send me the Gerbers and I can put them on my website.
Yeah. I can do that too, but I'll send both of you the Gerbers, and then you can do with them as you please.
I just ordered a bunch of boards from JLC. They only charged me $30 for shipping and no tariffs.
Yeah. Yeah, these came from JLC. I mean, these were about a month and a half ago, and the rate, like I said, it was like $10 for 10 boards, or $5 for 10 boards, and $30 to ship them.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but DHL has always been $30 for
yeah,
small packages.
right. But I ordered some other boards, got about a year ago, and the shipping was like $9.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That
don't
was
see
the
that
other one.
anymore.
They use Global Direct, don't they? At one
Yeah,
point, that's why I used to use the chat. I don't care how long it took to get to me. A
yeah.
lot of times when I was ordering boards,
Well, they had
and
a contract with the USPS, which was cheap too. It was like $5 or $6.
And I think that's the
yeah,
one I used last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that contract went away here, not, about a year or so ago.
tariffs.
Well, yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah,
the tariffs.
Post office canceled all sorts of stuff during tariffs. They didn't want to be liable for what they didn't collect or did collect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Makes
look on
sense.
Tindy right now, I would say 75% of the products on Tindy say do not ship to the US. Anybody else
Yeah.
in the world can buy them. So everybody outside the US who's on Tindy has stopped shipping to the US because it's just too much trouble.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it changes somewhere along the way.
Yeah, hopefully we'll return to some sanity soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think November will decide that.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's some history. I don't know if anybody was around or recognizes this. It's too small to read,
Yeah.
but it's the Micro 8 newsletter from the
Okay.
Cabrillo High School. This was the first, and I've got about a half a dozen copies of it. I was looking I couldn't find the 3D the 3-ring binder for the floppy disk stuff, but I did find this binder, and it also has Dr. Dobbs, before Dr. Dobbs.
Oh,
This is
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you should scan all those in and put them on archive.org.
Yeah. I wish I had the full set. Oh, here we go. Which issue is this? Volume 1, number 3.
There you are.
Oh wow, I
Dollar
remember
50.
that.
I
I remember
used to
that.
have some of those, but that was
Likewise.
one of my moving boxes disappeared because I had all of those calisthenic newsletters. But when I moved from Minnesota to California, that's one of the boxes that disappeared.
Mm.
Snowball for the Altair. Anybody want Snowball?
I think that's one of the languages we went through when I was in college. It was like, I
Here
think
you go. This is something. Volume
Uh,
1,
Ti-
issue 1.
Dr. Dobbs Journal. Wow, I remember that.
yeah.
Tiny
used to-
basic.
Yeah, I used to get that.
This is volume 1, issue 1. And before that was the big People's Computer Company or something like that.
Mm.
Sorry, I just.
No, that's cool stuff.
What was that in the background? Is that a big antenna?
Yeah. That's a 20 through 10 meter loop.
Hmm.
Active loop. Well, not active. And it has a stepper motor. It was a unique design by a couple guys here in Charleston. It has a stepper motor down at the bottom that moves the trumpet things up and down to change the capacitance.
Mm.
And I was writing software for them to be able to automatically control it. But the problem is the trombone moves back and forth a little bit because this nylon rod,
Mm-hmm.
the nylon rod that moves it, was never perfectly vertical. It was always had a little bend in it, so it never returned to exactly the same spot twice, which kind of killed the whole concept.
I remember my kids being enamored with the giant air capacitors in the tuner circuit of my Pioneer receivers on SX780 and an SX950 and the heavy flywheel turning and seeing that giant air capacitor in there sliding by itself. That's the old mechanical tuning.
Yep. Back to round mechanical things rotating. Like stepper motors.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, next week, if I can find it, I'll share with you some of the stuff about the 800 S800 stepper motor project.
And you were doing that primarily to try to make alignment discs?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
And unfortunately, I left it back home in Virginia when I moved. I had this really heavy, like 1 inch thick steel base plate from an RCA video tape recorder, broadcast video tape recorder, an old TRT-1. It was like huge, but it weighed about a ton. So I left it up in the attic. I didn't move it.
How big of a piece do you need? Oh, that's type of stuff. Is it? I'm just wondering. Is there some place maybe, and this may not work, but granite countertop or something like that? It wouldn't flex. It would be solid, and you might be able to get like a scrap piece from somebody.
Yeah.
That would be a lot harder to drill and tap for accurate mounting than a piece of aluminum.
Yeah.
You go down to the local metal suppliers and look for offcuts. That's the way you get cheap stuff.
How thick of a piece can you use?
Probably needs to be at least, may need to be about a ½ inch.
Yeah, ½ inch and probably about a foot square.
You could, if you got a template, you can take it to a water jet cutter and it'll cost you about $100 and they can cut you a aluminum plate or a steel plate, whatever you want.
Yeah, this would need to be about 1 foot by 2 foot.
Yeah. I had when I lived in California, a water jet cutter. He cut me 1,000 little tiny brackets for robots, and it was $100. And that was
I'm here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
The sticks.
But they got water jet cutters out there.
I think there's only 2 metal companies in all of Charleston.
Wow.
There used to be more, but when the naval base was shut down, I think a lot of that stuff disappeared. A lot of those companies went away.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
still-
actually work for a metal company, but I did. We're not. We're down in North Carolina, not south. But there is a website that we have that they call it, it's a drop zone that I don't want to advertise anything because that's not what I'm here for. But you could go there and see if there's something, that's where you're getting the drops and cutoffs and stuff. If you have any
the thing
interest, just let
about
me know.
water jet cutters is they're there because they make, when people are building houses and customizing their kitchens and bathrooms, they need stuff cut to fit right. And that's why the water jet cutters survive.
Well, I don't need it any particular size as long as it's a minimum size. I mean, it could be
Yeah.
3 foot by 4 foot for all I care, as long as it's a minimum of 1 foot by like 2 foot.
Yeah,
I think
you just have to give them the template of what you want and tell them what you need and the size. If they got an exact template, they'll cut it in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, the issue there becomes the cost.
Mhm.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
and
but
then
water
a lot
jet cutting
depends
is
on weight
usually
and
cheap.
stuff.
I don't want to pay $500 for one. I could buy a whole new computer for $500.
Yeah, no, but like I said, I had
Yeah,
a thousand. I
add
had
to
a
the collection.
thousand pieces. I had 1,000 pieces cut, and it was $100,
Yeah.
and that was for
So,
1,000
Gary,
little.
Walt will get you a piece and a good deal.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I
Thanks,
just said
Walt.
water jet cutting is cheap.
I'll send you the dimensions.
It's cheaper than laser cutting.
I don't care how it's cut as long as I get a piece of metal that's appropriate.
Yeah.
So I had a
Well,
1 foot by 1 foot by half-inch aluminum plate that we launched fireworks against so that we didn't catch anything on fire, but
We need
that's
those.
not quite big enough.
Now, I need something that's just long enough to where you can bolt an SA800 down really good and solid, and then butt that stepper motor assembly that I showed you up against it.
And is that
No,
good
no,
enough
no,
with
no.
the
No,
3D printed mount?
Pardon me?
Is that stable enough with the 3D printed mount, or does that change with temperature? And
I don't know. See, that is adjustable if you can find a way of making it reproducible every time.
Well, if you don't do too much work with the stipper motor and let it cool off, it shouldn't affect the plastic.
Well, the ambient temperature will, though.
yeah, plastics
yeah.
is not a good thing for critical alignment, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
especially
it
3D
may need
print.
to eventually be metal, but at least the 3D printed one will get me close enough to where I can tell. And since I've got the alignment discs, I can, test it at various times and see if it is varying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but plastic, I don't think plastic expands as much as metal does, and temperature changes.
It depends on the plastic and the metal you're considering.
Yeah.
I can tell you that a 1 foot by 4 feet piece of colored plexiglass on the front of like an LED scoreboard will grow in length by half an inch.
Oh, yeah, but
Out in the sun.
if it's just
My
a base,
metal cabinet doesn't, and so
Right.
the
Yeah, but
plastic starts bowing out.
but if he's using a base plate that's metal or rock or aluminum, that's one thing. But the little bracket that he made for that stipper motor, that plastic is too small to move enough, I would think, unless he gets the stipper motor too hot.
Well, if it's bolted to that aluminum, that probably helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you worry about the aluminum shrinking.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the good news is that the floppy probably is nowhere near that critical. Although if you're writing the reference disk, you probably want to be more critical than.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it works. Yay.
The thing that was interesting about the California University one was they actually had a way of not only moving it forward and backwards and up and down, they could actually twist it.
Well, yeah, you need that to do the azimuth.
Yeah. And that's something that I never quite figured out how to do it. I mean, I could build a rotating thing that rotated the whole assembly a little bit. I forget what the problem with that was.
You pretty much are going to have to loosen the stepper motor in the 800 to move its shaft an angle.
Well, yeah, you're right. That's what it was.
Although I imagine that azimuth pattern is written when it's perfect.
Yeah,
so as long as you can get your shaft perfect on the drive you're writing with,
that's right.
we don't need
as
to.
as long as you use the alignment disc to set it up, if you're writing new alignment discs, that's not an issue. Because once it's
Right,
set,
you only need the variability to write the radial alignment pattern. I don't think the azimuth pattern requires you to change the angle to write it. I think you can write it while it's perfect and just keep writing new ones while it's perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you're running an analog signal through a coil for the head to write, you're going to get an oval shaped thing because of the movement. So each dot is going to have a little bit of an oval shape, but I don't think that should be a serious problem.
The nice thing is I can also create my own. Since I'm writing an alignment disc, I can create my own alignment disc. And if I have other any other tests that I want to do to verify alignment, I can write that. I don't have to be stuck using their step in, it's a little less, step here, it's maximum, step here, it's a little less. I could create my own images if I could figure out what those are.
That would be cool to be able to do that. And you need it for 5 1/4 too.
Yeah. Mine only did 8 inches, and obviously that's the problem with what I've got is, I can only do the SA800s on that base plate, so I'd have to use another base plate and another stepper motor, whole assembly to do 5 1/4s and 3 1/2s.
Although by then you just throw the drive away and get another one. It's very hard to align the newer small drives. They didn't really figure you'd be doing that kind of maintenance on them.
Disposable.
What about double-sided drives? Do you have to worry about aligning the top and bottom heads, or are they pretty much solid?
The double-sided alignment discs, I have one. So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously it's going to be tied almost directly to the bottom head, but then, yeah, I guess if the spacing between the top and the bottom heads is wrong, because the top head is further in than the bottom head. Is it the other way around?
Is it? I know they're offset a little bit. They're offset, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got alignment discs for 5 1/4. I've got 2 of those, and I've got a couple alignment discs for 3 1/2 as well.
Oh yeah.
Well, if alignment discs are 500, you could probably go into business aligning people's discs for them.
I don't want to get in the business of doing that. Making alignment discs is fine. I don't want to get in the business of.
You broke my disc. It was working before I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always makes me nervous about working on anybody's equipment. Don't really want to mess with liability.
Yeah.
Transit liabilities.
The paperwork that came with this one, this 5 1/4, says it does double-sided, double density MFM at 250 kilobits per second.
Yeah, I have one of those that does both the 100 TPI and the 96 TPI for the Micropolis standard and then the world standard, so to speak, all in one disc.
Oh, cool.
That was in the last days of God, who's the company that kept selling disc until just a little while ago? It begins with an A. Oh well.
And before I forget that subject or leave that subject. Thank you once again, Patrick, for lending me your 8-inch alignment disc. That's what started this whole thing. A
Oh,
number
good
of
deal.
years, a number
Yeah,
of
yeah,
years,
yeah.
yeah, a number of years ago, you lent me your 8-inch alignment disc, and I promised to to make a bunch of videos. Well,
Mhm.
I recorded all the videos. I've got them all here, but they were so huge and it took so long to create it that I never had a chance to edit them. And I've still got them on both Hi8 and digital images. So one of these years I'll have to figure out how to do it. I'm not very good at doing videos.
If you got digital, put it on a thumb drive or an SSD, send it to me and I can do the editing.
I may do that because I've got them all on a thumb drive somewhere. I just would have to find that one thumb drive.
Yeah, I got professional video editing software, so it's not too difficult to edit stuff.
I used to have Avid and Adobe. No, I'm sorry. What was the
Adobe Premiere?
Premiere? Yeah,
Yeah.
but the licenses have all expired now.
Yeah, Adobe Premiere is way too expensive. But
well, working at the TV actually working for 24 TV stations around the country, I had access to all that stuff at one time. But that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I had the Pinnacle software. I had a little bit of, I had all of them because we would do head-to-head shots on them. And some of our TV stations wanted Apple and some of our TV stations wanted Avid and other things.
you can get Wondershare Filmora for probably less than $60.
And I've got Filmora. Actually, I've got Filmora on this computer. Yeah, I've got a whole. I still have a bunch. It's just I'm not a video editor. I don't do it too good.
Okay, yeah. Well, I can. Yeah, you send me the thumb drive. I'll edit the things.
Okay.
I can. I mean, I can. If I can get it to one point, let you take a look at it and see if it's, because that we could do with little quick Zoom things.
Okay.
And or even email. I could say, okay, this section is this stuff and that stuff, and
Well, I've already talked way too much this show, so we'll talk about it another time.
Well, this show needs people to talk, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What would I have called that?
Mike, while he's looking, do you still have in stock another one of the ASR 33 RS-232 teletype adapters? You have those
Yeah,
in
still
stock?
have
Okay.
them.
So is there a good day to call this week if to place an order?
Yeah, Monday through Friday. Actually, I'm off Friday, so Monday to Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, yeah. I the first one I had working great in the KSR. I had Wayne has been helping me get the KSR's pretty much almost ready to go. Last thing I was fighting with was I was getting double space. I can only get double spacing on the line feed. So he said, well, a lot of people just adjust it so when you're on when it's set to double space, it only does single spacing, and that's what I was able to do. So,
Oh, good.
so that's working.
Is that
Your
a
device.
tractor or friction feed?
This is friction feed.
Yeah.
The ASR I have is tractor feed. That's what I'm getting. The second unit's going to be for the ASR.
Yeah, that one's a
Yeah,
bitch. Hopefully, you don't
yeah.
have to take much of that tractor part apart.
Yeah, we'll have to. So far, this one I haven't had to do too much. I actually broke a piece, and Wayne was able to send me off a little great guy. I mean,
Oh, he's amazing.
really helped.
Yeah,
Absolutely amazing. And he answers my emails. Thank God for him. I'll
I
tell
think
you.
it's his life. Yeah.
Yeah, he enjoys. I mean, I sent him off. I 3D printed some upstops because he sent me some of his, and he said, I don't have too many more. So I was able to take it and found. I actually found the guy who sent them to him. Found his STL file and 3D printed. It was first time using TPU, the rubberized 3D filament. I've never messed around with it before, but it worked great. And then the guy who gave me the file said, "Oh, you should do it at 100%. You can't get it onto the fixture at 100%. It was too stiff." So when I sent him some of the 100, but I also sent him some of the 20% infill stuff, and it seems they're working good for me
And
so
which
far.
piece is this?
This is the upstop. So what happens is back when in the back of it, when it's feeding the line feed, it would go up and there was a little orange block there, a little
Oh, okay.
plastic orange block. I didn't realize, but somewhere along the way it shattered.
Hmm.
Old plastic shattered. So
Yeah.
they called it upstop.
Yeah, mine is
Yeah.
tractor feed is the only one I've had, so I haven't really seen the friction feed mechanism in detail.
There's friction feed. Well, this little move, this little when it does line feed, it pushes up the lever or pushes down in the back, and it's got like a little hook that's moving it to the next one.
Right.
So it feeds in and pushes along to the next one. So um, along the way, like I say, I had it working great, and then one last little, just gotta tighten this, and oops, the
Oh,
snap moment. It's like, oh, but it was an easy piece to replace. It was just tough to find, and Wayne had it
cool.
again. So yeah, it's worked out well. So now I'm just cleaning the case. I realized the cover on this one has no teletype. I don't know if this is gonna. I blur. Let me stop the blur for a second. There's no logo on it, so I'm not a big. I don't go too nuts on this stuff. Where the heck is?
If you got a link
Uh,
for Wayne's website, put it in the chat.
I
I
don't know
don't
if
think
he
he
has a
does websites.
website. Yeah, he's not. Wayne was an old school uh, technician for teletypes, essentially. So essentially, I'm going to be trying to print on clear decal type paper a whole bunch of teletype logos, so I can actually replace the one that's missing on the cover. I don't know if the cover is somewhere on there. Oh,
Cool.
that's the cover with it. So yeah, I took me a little bit to get this. He said he doesn't have any. It is known to be doing them. So if I get it working, I'll that where it's halfway decent, I'll share the files and send him a bunch of pre-printed ones so he can share, because that's what he likes to share it when
No, he
people
shares
ask him.
everything.
He really does. He's just been great. I mean, so far, he's been shipping things back and forth, and yeah, I sent him a few things, but yeah, he hasn't wanted. I'm tried to give him money, and he didn't want money for the little screws and pieces he's sending me yet. He says, "Nora will get you for something," So
Well, if he takes your unit and works on it, he'll take money.
yeah,
Yeah, he'll everything else he just sends you.
he's not working on units these days. So he's just essentially helping me, guiding me, sending me the manuals, the different sections. Right now, I still need to do a little more lubing on the unit I have. So okay,
Put
well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
put some of his information in the chat. There's other people asking me questions about teletypes, and I go, I don't have
I,
any.
Just send him
I
to
don't
Green
have his.
Keys.
What's that?
Just tell him, Walt, just send him to the Green Keys.
Yeah,
The Green Keys
Green
email
Keys
list.
group. Yeah. That's where Wayne reached out to me, and I kind of chatted with him a few times, but there's other guys out there. It's also a good group if you're looking for supplies. Sometimes they come up with I think back a bit, a Chicago group came up with teletype punch paper, punch tape, and those can get hard to find, and they were selling off small groups of them. They sell you one or two at a time.
Put a link
Um,
to the group in the chat.
It's not a
okay,
group, it's just an email list.
it's kind of if you do internet search on Green Keys,
Yeah,
you will
but
find
other
it.
people, I can't be telling 500 people do an internet search when they can look at the chat.
Well, you'd
That's
have to send him that link.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can find. Well, if I can't find it in this chat, I'll send it to you personal, so you have it and you can add it. I'll send you what information. I'm not going to send Wayne's information or anything like that. That is not appropriate. But the group for hitting them with questions, Green Keys, I think would be open. Anybody with teletypes, they seem to be a good group of people.
Yeah,
Helpful people.
I found the list and subscribed just a couple of weeks ago. It was pretty
Okay,
easy. Just
okay.
go
So yeah,
search on
yeah.
Green Keys, and yeah, and
I
I
just put
subscribed.
it on there.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? You had it, Mike. Thank you, bud. Appreciate it.
I just searched Green Keys and
Do they
Yeah.
have do they have a connection to that guy? I can't remember what state he was in. It was like Indiana or Ohio or someplace. There was some old guy that had a barn that
Yeah,
was
Mr.
all teletypes.
RTTY, Paul Hembry, or yeah, he's on there.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
on there.
okay, yeah.
I've ordered from him too. I got some of the unique parts from Paul. Very helpful guy. I think he's out in California though. I thought, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
El something El
El Cerrito or
Sobraro,
something,
El
or El
something like
Centro.
that.
El Centro, yeah, I think
Some,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
there was a YouTube I saw one time a few years ago, and they were doing these two young guys went to do a tour because this guy wanted to give away his business because he was too old to keep running it anymore.
right.
yeah,
And he had a barn, and it
Hmm.
was just miles and miles of shells
yeah,
of teletype parts and
yeah. I
rebuilt teletypes and everything.
maybe Paul's the one who ended up with the business. I don't. I honestly don't know the history, but he says he has almost millions of parts and pieces, and he's been really helpful. With some of the unique thing, I needed a front aluminum faceplate. It essentially says teletype on it, kind of thing, and he was able to supply that to me along with, a bunch of
I'm
bits and
coming.
belts and stuff.
I'm coming. Okay,
What's
guys, I
that?
got to take off. I'm being
Okay.
being
Okay,
called.
bud.
So
All right.
we'll see
Take
y'all
Okay.
care,
next
Terry.
week.
See you, Terry.
Yeah, take care, Terry. So,
Yeah, it looks like Curious Mark and a partner who does his, Curious Mark that does all the videos.
Hmm.
They went to visit Mr. RTTY, and that's probably what Walt is thinking of.
Right.
okay,
Paul
Yeah, I think
Semper
I've seen that video as
background.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
okay. So, yeah, thanks for posting that, Mike. So, Walt, Mike put up the link for the group there for you.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's the thing is I'm getting emails from people and I keep telling them join the Zoom meeting. You know, I
Yes.
tell them I says I'm not the
Uh,
knowledgeable person you think I am. You know.
uh,
Uh,
what was the old South Park? They were trying to get everybody to come visit, and they said, "Punch and pie will be served," or something like
Punch and
that.
pie.
It was something like that to get people to show up. And when they realized there wasn't punch and pie, half the kids left. So you just to offer them punch and pie, Walt. Just punch and pie if they show up.
You know, no, it's incredible how many emails I get from people.
Yeah.
And they're asking me questions and I say, talk, I tell them try Mike or Patrick or Terry or go on the S1. I mostly tell them go on the S100 site or the
Yeah,
Altair 8800 site and post your questions there because I can't answer all these questions.
yeah. I refer them to the groups. Because there's
Well,
guys in groups that have time. I wouldn't want to send to anybody direct because who knows what
if they
people's
ask me an
thing.
FTC plus question, I say talk to Mike, or an ESP question, I say talk to Patrick because
Yeah,
I'm not an expert on all these
yeah,
things.
yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. But I do tell them, they should join the Zoom and they should
Mhm.
get on the forums.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually lost some of our European. We had oh, what was his name?
Paul.
Paul. Yeah, yeah,
I haven't seen him for a long time. Yeah.
yeah. That's too bad. He was a good, or he is a good
I
guy.
I think he got his computer working and now he's just eating
Playing.
tacos and
Yeah, yeah. I was hoping Peter would show up because I chat with you. We send emails back every couple. It takes me a
Yeah,
week to get back to people, but he's a good guy too. I like Peter.
yeah, I've been chatting with Peter as well on
Okay,
bringing up his
good.
system, and
Yeah.
apparently, um, he fired it up for the first time today. It was just a posting on the S100 list that he fired up for the first time
Oh,
today,
excellent.
and a tantalum exploded.
Oh, yeah. That happened when I fired up the.
Right.
Actually, it wasn't tantalum. That was something. It's a TRS-80 Model 4 I was messing with. I mentioned it
Yeah.
earlier. Playing around with the power supply. Thought I had the power supply working and everything was, it wasn't working right. But actually, ended up the serial board, a chip blew its little head off.
Right.
And the only thing I think of is my brother came in and he suggested this is that over time chips if this machine was stored in a damp location the chips will absorb it and then when they start heating up they'll actually pop
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah,
So
it can happen.
It did happen. I thought it was.
I
I
had
thought,
one board that happened to 4 or 5 chips. Every one of them was a 74 LS10,
Hmm.
which I found rather interesting.
yeah.
I mean, it must have been the same batch or something from the same manufacturer. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
some of them you couldn't read it because it blows up right there in the middle. And some of them are just swollen and discolored and split. But
Mine blew right out of the center. Was blown
yeah,
out of it. I'm trying to remember which chip it is. I actually ended up having to order some.
I bought a PMMI modem on eBay. It was like 30 bucks or something like that. The guy didn't have the extra connector for the telephone line. So he was selling the board really cheap. And I lowballed his offer and he still sold it for me. It was like 30 bucks or 25 bucks, something like that, plus shipping.
Yeah.
And when I put it in the computer, turned it on, I saw right away, I saw a little smoke coming up. So I turned the power off right away. And one of the tanks had turned brown. So or blackish brown and that. So I pulled that out, replaced it. Now the thing works fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the chip that popped on me was an MC1488P. I think it was an RS-232 quad inverter or quad
yeah,
input or something.
that's your
Yeah,
line driver or line receiver. Never
Yeah.
knew which one's which.
yeah,
RS-232. Those are usually
yeah.
pretty darn robust. That's interesting.
Yeah, like I say, so when I got the machine, I opened it up and pulled the diskette. There was a diskette, one of the drives. The diskette almost looked like it had rust color on it. So I'm not sure how really wonderful this computer
Oh
is going to be.
yeah.
I could be running into other problems. So, but I ordered the chip hoping that was the only one there. Hopefully it'll. Otherwise, I'm going to have to find a replacement board for that or
Well,
not
you
do
got that
serial.
chip on another board in your house, I guarantee it. You want a quick
Oh
answer?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, at this point I'll
Mm,
wait for that. But
mm.
I don't like to mess around. If other stuff's working, Mike, I'm one not to mess with it too much, if you know what I mean.
Well, I've got a
Uh,
bunch of boards I'll know I'll never touch or I don't care
yeah,
about. They're too new, right when the S100 died, and they're so dense, modern CAD, so to speak, from the early 80s was used on them. And so I
yeah,
borrow parts from those all the time.
yeah, yeah. I can see. Yeah, that's probably the way to go if you can. If you pull them, especially are most of them socketed or are they?
Well, yeah,
You're
I'm
pulling
not
them
going to pull
apart.
anything if I have to cut it, or I don't
Okay.
unsolder without just cutting pins. So yeah, if I unsolder an old board, I've sacrificed the part to save the board.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Well, again, I sidetracked. What was it? Walt was going to show us something. I sidetracked when somebody was going to do something. I asked Mike the question. I took control. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well. Oh, well,
I'm gonna go watch the rest of the Masters.
Oh,
there
okay.
you are.
We'll catch up with you guys next week. And yeah, Patrick, if are you gonna modify something you've already built, or are you gonna build a new one?
Probably gonna modify the one I built.
Yeah, hopefully it works on yours too. I can't see why it wouldn't. Because
Yeah,
it's
and
your
then
CPU board.
I think I have another ZD board that doesn't work.
It
But
could be a
I'll
totally
just
different reason though.
yeah, it could be, but I'll try it and see if it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Like I
definitely
said,
doesn't need M1, and not all of them do M1.
Okay.
Well, put it onto the data bus during the
Right.
cycle.
Right. Yeah, I
All
think
right, catch up with you guys later.
The Ithaca, I think,
take care,
doesn't do
Mike.
that. Yeah. All right. See ya.
Yeah.
Okay. See you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Everyone,
Take
take
care.
care.
All right.
But
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
All right.